الغيمة تحولت إلى بيت يبدو مميزا في محيطه، واكتسب من غرابة التصميم كل هذا التألق. أما خشب الورد في هذا المنزل فكان صاحب الفضل في تميزه وإشعاعه من الداخل رغم جدية الخارج. أما كل هذا التألق والفن في البناء لا يجعلك تصدق أن هذا البيت كان مجرد كونتينر مرمي في أرض صغيرة. أفكار وجماليات معمارية نستعرضها من سيدني إلى إسبانيا، حيث البيئة المتوسطية لها شروطها أيضا.
One of the great things about Melbourne is that it has this amazing vitality and this amazing desire and appetite for architecture. It's astounding to see the architecture that is around the town and the chances and the experimentation that architects will make. Hello, Qatar TV. My name's Sarah and welcome to my house, the Cloud House. The front of the house looks like every other house in the street. The garden hasn't been finished. It looks a little bit dilapidated at the front, and that's the way we wanted it. We didn't want anyone to know what was behind the front door.
مدخل عادي لبيت عادي في حي عادي. لا تلبث هذه الصورة أن تتغير عندما تتخطى الممر ذا السجادة المزركشة وتصل إلى المطبخ. حينها تكتشف أنك تسكن في غيمة، لذلك أطلق عليه البيت الغيمة. وطغى في معماره على رتابة بيوت الحي الأخرى، تماما كسيارة رياضية في معرض للسيارات الكلاسيكية.
So you come into the front hallway and it's white. The walls are white. Then you come into the kitchen, it's red. Then you come out into the back room and it's brown, and it's a warm brown.
يتراءى لك شكل الغيمة مقنعا عندما تنظر إلى البيت بكليته عن بعد، وذلك بحكم الواجهة الزجاجية الكاملة والإطار الخشبي الأنيق الذي يشكل داخله دفئا وانسيابية مميزين.
The first solution they came up with, this back room was going to be a box. It was going to be lined in wood and all, you know, lovely, nice. The construction of the back of the room, it's a steel frame. When it was being built, it was almost like being inside a whale because there were all these big wooden ribs behind it. Yeah, it felt a little bit uncomfortable. And then when the wood went in, that's when we went, right. And it transformed the house. In a way, we sort of feel a little bit enclosed in here and we feel like we're wrapped in a woolen rug. So the kitchen is something that it's pretty intense. We find it quite warm. We find it a great environment to cook in. My husband also thinks it's a bit like a control tower sitting up there, and he does the cooking. He's the real cook in our house. It's like a pixelated box, I guess you could say. In regards to the furniture, we chose red and black. so that it would fit in with the kitchen. The couch, well, that was a donation from my relatives when my husband and I got married, and that's what we picked out.
الشكل الخارجي ينم عن هندسة صعبة في التنفيذ لتأخذ إيحاءات الغيمة في شكلها وتبقى في مضمونها مسكنا مكتمل الشروط فيما يقدمه من خدمة وراحة، واستطاع التصميم أن يصل إلى هذا الهدف، كما جعل التواصل بين البيت القديم والمستحدث غير مرئي من الداخل.
It was my husband who decided that he wanted the pool. It's great for our little boys. There's a shallower area where they can play, and then there's a deeper area where adults can go and do their bombs. I've had friends that have turned up here not knowing that what we'd done to the house, and they've come into the back room and gone, "Oh my gosh, what have you done? What is this house?" Thanks Qatar TV, thanks for coming to Melbourne, Australia to see the Cloud House.
بعد الفاصل.
I'd like to welcome the viewers of Qatar Television to the Palisandro House in New Farm, Brisbane. The front facade of the house, which is a rosewood, and Palisandro means rosewood in Italian.
The greatest joy has been seeing those ideas received.
Architecture is a very powerful tool and can make the life in cities and the life for people better.
عندما يحشر البيت بين بيتين آخرين، يصبح الحفاظ على الخصوصية عبئاً على المهندس الموكل بناءه، خصوصاً إذا كانت مساحة الأرض ضيقة. هذه الهندسة اكتسبت ذكاءها من القدرة على تحقيق هدف الخصوصية باللجوء إلى ما عرف بالمشربية، لتشكل حاجباً على الجيران دون أن تحجب الشمس والهواء عن الطابق العلوي حيث غرف النوم، والاستعاضة عن الشرفات المفتوحة بممر من خشب الورد.
Hi, I'm Sean Lockyer. I'd like to welcome the viewers of Qatar Television to the Palisandro House in New Farm, Brisbane. The Palisandro House got its name from the use of the timber on the front facade of the house, which is a rosewood, and Palisandro means rosewood in Italian. The house on the outside is a relatively simple form, whereas on the inside is quite an elaborate chiseled form that is an expression of space and light that came about through the development of the brief. This particular wall has been crafted. It took 3 carpenters 2 weeks to create this wall.
إذا كان التمدد أفقياً أمراً مستحيلاً، إلا أن التمدد عامودياً تم الاعتماد عليه لإضفاء اتساع وهيبة على البيت عبر الأسقف العالية التي تجمع بين الطابقين.
The house itself is a 2-story house, and on the ground floor level is essentially all of their living accommodation. So from the entry space, one steps down a number of steps into the common living area. And the common living area is made up of the dining room, which is a sunken dining room, so it goes down another couple of steps. And then there's a large living room adjacent to the kitchen, which all open onto the outdoor living spaces, so that there's the best of both indoor and outdoor living, that we can enjoy the subtropical climate all year round. And the backdrop of the dining room is celebrated by a fireplace, and this is a beautiful long linear fireplace that is clad directly above it with a Petra grey marble, which is a very beautiful but textural marble material.
المسافة بين سور البيت وسور البيت المجاور لا تتجاوز 4 أمتار، فكانت فكرة الفصل بالزجاج والماء ابتكارا يضفي الحيوية على البيت ولا يجعله معزولا كئيبا بالنسبة للضيف، حيث ترافقه الماء مع دخوله.
As one walks through the front door, we incorporated a water feature. This not only gives a beautiful aesthetic to the house and a lovely softness to the house, but there's also the sound of water, which we think is a very inviting experience of the house. And the stairs are all floating between the stringer on the right and the wall on the left. So as one moves up the staircase, you move through a series of curved timber windows that open up the view to the water feature and the bush.
خشب الورد جعل داخل البيت مرحبا وأنيقا، انسجمت معه بقية المواد، فشكل شخصية قوية لبيت يتمتع بجماليات لا تقوم على قطع ثمينة، بل على أسلوب معماري يفهم المواد التي استعملت في البناء.
As one moves into the upstairs family room area, this area really can be used either as a very open space, or one can alternatively close these spaces down and use it as a TV room or a more quiet space away from the rest of the house. The bedroom itself is very open, so it's got a combination of windows and sliding doors and panels that allow you to then either go out into the deck or back into the family room. On the street side of the house, we've got 3 bedrooms for kids, and for, in this instance, one is used as a study space, where the bedrooms open up onto a beautiful contemporary version of a veranda. The swimming pool, which has a beautiful water feature, so once again that sound of water and also the colour of water and the aquamarine tile is incorporated into the space. And I'd just like to thank all the viewers of Qatar Television for coming out to Australia to visit us, and we're enormously grateful for the interest you've shown in the work, and we really hope that you've enjoyed what you've seen here.
من كوخ مرمي في أرض متبقية إلى مشروع عائلة بنت حلمها على مدار 10 سنوات.
We lived in the house the whole time it was under construction, which was a long time, taking over 10 years to construct.
لم يكن حلما عاديا، بل مشروعا بني على أنقاض مشروع، ووصل به الأمر أن يحوز على جائزة العمارة للعام 2013.
Last year, the Leftover Space House won the World House of the Year at the World Architecture Festival in Singapore. The title, The Leftover Space House, conveys a layering of meanings. The site, when we first purchased it, was literally a leftover parcel of land.
And so we actually saw that there was an opportunity to take both a broken site and a broken house and broken materials and actually assemble and create and cultivate those materials into something.
In designing this home as two young graduates but also a young married couple, we were certainly designing this as a future family home with the idea of raising children that we didn't yet have in this home. So that was a very real part of the brief in designing this home.
تدور فكرة البيت بأقسامه كلها حول المكتبة التي شكلت عصب هندسة البيت وتقسيمه، وفرضت أبعاداً فنية وتشكيلات عبر الزجاج والخشب والمخرمات الحديدية، فكان امتزاجاً بصرياً يشكل لوحات فنية.
The entry space is a threshold between the internal private spaces and the public realm on the outside. The entrance of our home is surrounded by an ecclesiastical library. The designing of the bookshelves and the daybed, they're integrated together. Our dining room is in between the public area of the house, which is the library, and also then our living and private areas. And so this space is really important because it can become a dining space, but it can also become a meeting space if we choose to have visitors or clients over. Most of the furniture throughout the house is built in, and that's so that we can actually create an intimate, sort of cared or loved environment for the users.
The idea of staircase that could be an amphitheatre for our children to have performances on, and the idea of places, quiet places in which they may sit and reflect and sit and read and pull out books in a warm sunlit space. These were all ideas that we tried to put into the house for our future children, and the greatest joy has been seeing those ideas received.
So the living room then adjoins onto the kitchen. Those two spaces, while together as one room, our master bedroom is a very important space. It is a private space, and it's a space that when you go there, we actually wanted to create more of an environment than just a space to sleep. Interestingly though, the platform which integrates the bed into it has turned into a stage for our young girls. Early in the morning they quite often come in and say to us, actually I want to sing and dance for you, and they'll actually do that as we're still in bed, and at the end on this new raised stage for them. Thank you Qatar TV for taking the time to come and look through our home with Rebecca and I.
And we hope you've enjoyed the experience.
بعد الفاصل.
Architecture is a very powerful tool and can make the life in cities and the life for people better. We are in the metropolitan area of Barcelona, in a residential area, very close to the Mediterranean Sea and the Cabriles Valley.
في طبيعة متوسطية وعلى رأس الوادي ثبت مجسم على شكل إكس وبقي جزء منه سابحا في الهواء.
Welcome Qatar TV, welcome to the X House in Barcelona. I'm Eduardo Cadaval from Cadaval and Sola Morales, and we are the architects of this house. So the idea when we came to the site and we realized that it was a very steep site, the X shape gave us privacy from the neighbors, maximized views, and that's why the X house has that shape. So the idea was that the house can have a big contrast with landscape. So it's in the top of the valley, is the toppest house. You cannot build any more above. So the idea was to create a very simple shape, like the idea of neutrality, against the green and the colors of the nature.
لم يكن تصميمه نوعا من الترف أو الاستعراض، بل استغلالا ذكيا للموقع والجيرة والتناغم الأفضل مع الطبيعة.
The house is suspended at the air, and also, if you see, you don't feel the neighbors when you're here. So it's through this shape, and by opening the house just to one side, you are able to get privacy, and I think you feel like you are almost the owner of the valley. Through architecture and through design, you can improve the quality of life of the people that uses your architecture.
الحداثة في التصميم استكملت طريقها إلى الداخل مع أثاث منتقى في غرفة الجلوس.
It's not a big house, but I think it feels like a big house because all the spaces are linked together and giving this kind of shape.
غرفة الطعام تحولت إلى مطبخ كبير صمم ليكون الأكثر جاذبية في منطقة الاستقبال.
In the Mediterranean culture, the kitchen is very important. So the idea is that it's an open kitchen concept where you can have, and it's also part of the living room. So the living room, the dining room, and the kitchen are linked and share the same space and make the house feel way bigger than in reality is. These big glasses that have a lot of technology in them are allowed to get most of the sun during the winter, but not a lot of sun during the summer. So also we provide a system of two blinds that you can control to get privacy and also to prevent the sun to enter the house.
يبدو البيت معلقا منفصلا عن المسبح، ولكن درجا عشبيا ينحدر من أعلى البيت يوصلك بالمسبح ويكمل بك إلى جلسة خارجية.
The swimming pool that it's also made, an infinity pool also made out of concrete, floating on top of the landscape and at the same height of the trees that surround the house.
سقف البيت استغل كجلسة خارجية عبرها تطال الأفق البعيد وتتنسم هواء المتوسط.
The house has two floors. So first of all, the first floor, you enter through the top part of the house. And that is a flat for the owner. When the house was finished, the owner called me like 3 days later, and he told me, you know what, I never close the blinds in my room because I'm resting in the bed and I feel like I'm floating. Architecture is a very powerful tool and can make the life in cities and the life for people better. So if you try to do good design, probably you are trying to make a better world in it. Thank you, Qatar TV, for your visit. It was great to have you here in the X House in Barcelona.